debt? Share your story at Millionaire Inside at CNBC.com. Be part of our next Millionaire Inside show and start living debt-free.
Live from Asia, Europe, and the United States, this is CNBC's Worldwide Exchange.
I'm Christine Tan. In Asia, panic selling triggers a market meltdown in Hong Kong, plunging over 8%. China, India, and Australia dropped 7%.
I'm Rebecca Meehan. In Europe, could there be a glimmer of hope? Markets fall, but the downward slide is much less steep than Asia's, and the FTSE just edging into positive
And I'm Mary
territory.
Thompson. In the U.S., investors return to work, bracing for a big sell-off as the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P futures are down more than 5%.
Hello and welcome to CNBC's Worldwide Exchange. Let's start with a look at the CNBC Global 300 Index. We do see it rebounding from earlier lows, quite a significant rebound there, but still definitely in negative territory, down by about 1.2% or about 63 points at this stage. But just to reiterate, well off the lows of earlier in the session. And take a look at these European equity markets. The FTSE 100 here in the UK, having had some significant declines earlier, now in positive territory, up by about half of 1%. Still seeing those declines, though, particularly in Germany, where the DAX is down by 1.9%, while the CAC and the SMI across in Switzerland coming back from their earlier lows. Just to look at the Forex markets too, obviously lots of action in the equity markets, but the Forex markets are also seeing some action. The dollar is gaining against the yen, up by about 0.4%. Very little change at this stage in euro dollar, still at just shy of 145. Sterling too, managing to gain a bit of ground against the dollar, currently just shy of 195. And in terms of euro yen, again, small moves there, the euro gaining about 0.3%. Christine.
Hey, Rebecca, a little bit of panic going on here in Asia. Investors went into a selling frenzy, selling stocks deep into the red. Fears of a U.S. recession continue to rattle the markets, as well as sentiment in Nikkei plunging to its lowest since September 2005, wiping off more than $200 billion in just one day. The Hang Seng, the Hong Kong market diving as well, down 8.6%, while China had its worst beating in 7 months, down 7.2%. India went into a tailspin as well. It was hit the circuit breakers after falling as much as 12%. This particular market is still trading down 5.9%. And Australia had its worst fall in 18 years, losing over $90 billion in today's trade. The S&P ASX 200 down 7%. While the sell-off also hitting the oil market, crude prices dropped more than $4 a barrel. Right now, still falling $1.52 at $86.45 a barrel. And Brent also seeing a similar fall as well, $1.39 lower, $86.12 a barrel. Very gloomy session here in Asia. Mary.
Christine, setting up for a gloomy session here in the U.S. as well. Of course, trading resumes today after the markets were closed yesterday for the long holiday weekend, Martin Luther King Day. Let's take a look at where the futures are trading right now. Again, pointing to a much lower open on Wall Street. Dow futures down 595 points, of course, well below fair value. Basically, we're looking for a steep sell-off. Again, remember the U.S. markets playing catch-up following yesterday's declines in Europe and Asia. NASDAQ futures and S&P futures lower as well today. Of course, all of this panic selling in the equity markets is triggering a flight to quality into bonds. And turning to the bond yields, taking a look at where the German Bund is trading right now. Do we have that yield? We do not have that right now, but also the yield on the 10-year Treasury falling. There we go. The 10-year Bund yield is down just about 0.05%. And then turning to the yield on the 10-year note, down just about 0.1% there at 3.48%. This, again, in the wake of a flight to quality going into the Treasury markets today. Quickly checking on gold. Gold prices down as well today, although rebounding from the session lows, dragged down by the weaker euro, oil, and investors, of course, selling to cover margin calls as well today. Well, that's your global overview. Now let's drill down to where the market action is with our Global Stock Watch.
Thanks, Mary. Well, to our global